You have to push through everything.
Against,
You can't just disappear, you know?
nah, I hear it. Against all odds, bro. You got to go for
Exactly,
it.
exactly.
What? How did you mess up your knee?
No, so it's just me and my friends. We're just messing about in the park.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just like wrestling, and I got put into a heel hook. I twisted out the wrong way and just
Pop, bro. That happens to so many people wrestling. I always hear that story. It's always the
yeah,
knee or the ankle.
yeah, unfortunately. But here we are today. We're doing good. Everything's fine.
So what do you do? You do like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and stuff?
I really don't. It's just me and my friends were just like messing around in the
That's,
park. It's
that's
just
G.
having boys having fun, you know. It's just
Yeah, 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 yeah.
fun time out.
Fair, fair, fair. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you have a good Eid as well? Yeah.
I celebrated my friends. I'm not Muslim. I'm Christian, but
Okay.
yeah, the Eid was good. I grew up in Qatar,
Dope.
so Islam and Ramadan and Eid was like a big part of our culture growing up.
Dope.
So yeah, and I fasted Ramadan once or twice with my friends.
So
Um,
what's that like as a Christian doing that?
if I'm being honest, and I
Yeah.
might get some hate for this, I think it's easier than Lent because Lent is you have to be vegan for 40 days. You have to abstain from certain things that you're addicted to or you do on the regular basis that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
So all of those added up really takes a toll on you in the 40 days, but you come out a better man. But
Of
during
course.
Ramadan, it's just you're fasting for a certain amount of hours, and then you just eat and drink whatever you want, minus obviously like alcohol and all that other stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
in my opinion, Ramadan is easier in let's say Arabic countries rather than European countries because sunrise to sunset takes much longer.
Yeah, that's true.
And sometimes during the summer, like a couple of years ago, I think about 6 years ago now, my friends that were studying med school here in Hungary were telling me their first Ramadan here was about 19 hours of fasting, which was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
The closest I've come to something like that, I've done like a water fast for like 5 days before. That was,
I have as well. It's torture.
yeah, yeah, yeah. How long did you go
Mentally,
for?
it gets to you. I only could do like 4 days, 4.5 days. I was
Yeah.
going for the five, but I just
Bro, it's actually a
couldn't.
mental roller coaster, isn't it? Like some days
It
you're like, oh, this is
really
fine.
is.
And then you're like, damn, like I need
I'm
something.
hungry. You just want you. Oh,
Yeah,
it
bro.
it, it it it's definitely a mental challenge, but it's a good one. It's good
Yeah.
to challenge yourself sometimes. You know, it's needed.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I agree. That's exactly why I did it. I just saw people doing it. I was like, oh, let me see if I could just do that. But stupidly, the
Yeah.
first time I did it, so I did the first one was a 3 day fast. And I did
Okay.
that when I used to work in construction. So I used to be electrical engineer, so I was on sites a lot. And I remember I for some reason did it midweek. I don't know who told me to do that because my days started at like 5 a.m.
God,
So I was
that
waking up really early,
yeah,
not eating. And then like you'd be in the canteen and everyone be eating and be like, oh, okay, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. And then the day I broke it, so on the after the third day, the fourth day when I broke it the first time, I didn't do it properly. I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna eat food. The pain of just going from nothing, absolutely nothing to water basically,
it's
and then
excruciating. Yeah,
bro,
you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
sitting in bed, just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And because I was so hungry, I didn't even think. I just wolfed it
yeah,
down. It's so
yeah.
stupid, yeah. But the second time
30
I
minutes
did that,
later, you're in
yeah.
devastating pain. Your stomach is just upset.
And then the second time I did it for 5 days, and I broke it with like fruit, and then like slowly built, and that was way better. Like that was okay.
Yeah,
That was too bad. Yeah,
yeah.
that was good. All right, well let's jump straight into this then. So give us your
Let's do it.
name, your age, and what brought you to the real world platform. Because obviously you've already
Yeah,
mentioned you're from Hungary, so
yeah. My name is Romel Masarwe, and I had just turned 21 years old a couple days earlier, and in the real world, I'm a student of business master right now.
yeah,
This is
dope.
it's my main section right now that I'm focused on because
Right.
it's a very easy skill to learn, and outreach is also easy to get your first couple clients. Not too hard if you stay consistent,
Yeah.
which is a
Oh,
big part of it.
well, walk us through that then. Walk us through exactly how you go through the process of starting the real world, getting clients, and then getting money.
There's two versions to the story. One when I was 15 or 16 years old, or sorry, not even. Yeah, no, probably like 15 or 16 years old when the real world was Hustlers University.
Yeah,
When it was still on Discord. I got some like money over the summer, hustled a little bit, and I told my parents, "Oh, there's this guy, this bald guy on the internet, who's selling courses to help teenagers like start building a business and everything." So they're like, "Yeah, blah blah blah." My parents co-sign. We open a small bank account in Jordan, and I basically sign up and I pay for it, and I go through the copywriting course.
yeah,
But at that point in time, I wasn't ready to do outreach, or I never understood the logistics of the behind the scenes of business.
yeah.
So I just opened up an Instagram page, created a marketing agency, or so I thought. I paid for a website, I did all these things, and then just failed. And from that point on, I was like, okay, my problem is information. So for a few years, all I did was read books and all that stuff and build connections along the way. And I ended up going to university. Fast forward to about 3.5 months ago, I decide, you know what, the real world 2.0 is about to come out. I hear a lot of good things. Let's join.
No,
First thing I do, because copywriting is what I had learned a couple of years prior. I was like, I'll start the copywriting campus. I went through the course with Professor Andrew and everything. And I was like, this isn't exactly what I want to do. So, second thing I found was business mastery, and that's when I joined it and started going through everything. And I had read the book $100 Million Offers by Hormozy,
amazing.
which helped out a lot building the offers and learning what to do.
Yeah,
After I went through the course, I did about 350 cold emails every single day to businesses with
sick.
follow-ups
Yeah,
for about 2.5 months before I landed the first client.
okay.
Um, because if I were to do cold calling, I live in Hungary. I can't do that with local businesses because all of them speak Hungarian.
Got
All of
you.
them are like older. None of them understand search engine optimization. None of them understand building websites and how that can affect their business. So
Yeah,
what I would do is I'd find the business owner and then I'd try to contact their son or someone that works in the store that speaks English. So that's why it took a while. And then my first client was actually a very lucky one. He had two businesses in town, so and both of them didn't have websites. So that was about 1,300 USD.
wow.
And for management fees, so for the hosting for the websites, they pay me about $200 a month per website.
Oh,
And
amazing.
that was, yeah, so that was a very eye-opening experience and didn't take that much work. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes of work to
Yeah,
get those websites up. So after I did that, I started asking for testimonials and all those things. They were like, "Yeah, we'll see," all that stuff. And then second and third client was relatively the same situation. And through my dad's connections, after he's seen me put in a lot of initiative, he has one of his friends who's a very big businessman in Qatar. So me and my friend decided to go into business together,
yeah.
and yeah, will be managing his basically social media accounts and everything to do with them, which is social media management for about 28 of his businesses come April
Yeah.
1st. And that comes with a big contract. And hopefully, we'll be seeing a very big lump sum with that. So it's very life changing. It happens. It happened quicker than I thought. So it's exciting.
So what
But
was the difference between the first time where you said like it took a bit more time to get it done, and then the second time when you joined? You obviously you're a bit older, you're a bit more mature, and you understand like the actual focus you have to do. What was it? Just explain to me a little bit the difference between the two time frames, and why was one so successful and the other one not as successful?
one was my discipline, and the biggest one was my courage. I
Right.
wasn't ballsy enough the first time. I felt lost. I didn't have a right sense of direction. Um, I was young. I didn't have enough information or, again, courage to go out to these businesses. I'm like, I want to help you. I want to do this. I want to do that. And they didn't have
Yeah.
the connections. And I was shy of it. I shied away at that younger age. And then I realized there's no shame in working. There's no
Of course not,
shame in
bro.
hustling. And that was the difference between the first time and the second time. And
Be-
with the real world, sorry to cut you off,
no,
but in
no.
the real world, a big thing that has helped me was the checklists, the daily checklists,
Yeah, yeah,
because they're basically pre-built from the professors and tells you exactly what to do. So if you do, just go down that list every single day. It's very hard not to find success, even if it's a little bit. It's
yeah,
you're not gonna go from zero to $100,000 a month in half a year.
yeah,
It's been done before. Some people have done it, but the reality of the world is it's not gonna happen
yeah,
that quickly. It's probably gonna take you a year, 2, 3 years maybe. For some people, 5, 10, 15. But it's a slow road, and I'm enjoying it. You know, Just
yeah.
taking pictures
We
along the way.
we always try to say like this isn't we try to steer away from like this is a course because it really is a school because it is
It
again
really is. It's not just a
with
school; it's also a community.
yes, exactly. It's a school and a community, and it's constantly building and changing. It's not like you just learn this one thing and then that's it. We're constantly trying to add, and the professors are out in the field testing everything they're trying to teach. They're making sure that it works, which is why we have like a pretty good success rate. And because at the end of the day, we want our students to have the best product because you being successful is a reflection of us. Now we can say, look, this is what
Correct,
we're
hundred
providing,
percent.
and so 100%. Like I think we also try to build. I just touched on a couple of things that you said. The confidence one. We also try to build mind frame and actually bring that confidence out of people because we actually do understand that that first step that you're talking about that eventually you took, but it's the fear of taking it in the beginning is one of
Yeah,
the biggest hurdles that humans in life face. It's when you're up against something that's completely different or you feels out of your depth or you haven't seen someone else around you do it and we're trying to say look you can do this thing. It's very hard to even take the first step. It's frightening for a lot of people. A lot of people end up in deer in the headlights and don't move. Obviously, you continue to make yourself grow and then you push forward and then you eventually took the first step and now here you are making success in the real world. Kind
yeah.
of talk to me on do you feel like the real world needs to improve then on trying to build the mental confidence of their students or do you feel like it was just something it was a bit harder for you because you was younger?
No, it was just solely me being just much younger, and I didn't have the right sense of direction almost. Even
Yeah,
though, don't get me wrong, I had the support of my parents and they helped me through this, and they helped me go through the courses and they'd make sure I'd stay disciplined.
yeah,
But it's more of a mental block, right? You can't help someone who doesn't want to help, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's more of trying to figure that out on your own. Like it's not something you can teach. It's something that's just in you.
yeah,
If you're ready to do it, if you're ready to just bite down and just
yeah,
go, that's the only way you can do it. You can People love learning, but they don't like doing
yeah. You're right.
it. So that's a big problem I feel like with any course or anyone. But with what the real world really does with the community, it's you have thousands, hundreds of thousands of students every single day. Good morning. Did you guys do this? Did you guys do this? There's the homework. So there's stuff you need to do.
Yeah,
When you see thousands of people daily clock in and do what they're supposed to do, even though they have a plethora of things on their mind, but they're still doing it. Why aren't you?
yeah, true.
Are they better than me? No, they're not. I can still do the same things they can.
Yep.
You
It's
just
that
have to
one
show
thing you're
them.
talking about. It's that locking in. It really is. It
Yeah,
is that.
you do. You really have to.
Yeah.
It's not. It becomes almost not forced, but if you don't do it, you're just
Yeah.
gonna work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life.
Yes. It's true.
Now you can't be making $60,000 a year for the next 35, 40 years and expect your wife and kids to be like, whatever,
Yeah, it's
and just
true.
live that mediocre life. over and over and over and over and over again. Right? It motivated me to work my ass off because my father, growing up, we traveled the world because
Yeah.
of my dad. We were able to be put in the best schools with the best people, with all these different things. So it motivated me to get off of my ass and prove to my dad, the son he gave he gave the life to didn't go to waste.
Yeah.
I want to make my dad proud,
Of
right?
course. Yeah.
He's a very big idol in my life, and
That's amazing.
I don't want to disappoint him, right?
Yeah, you kind of want to show your father, the sacrifice that he done was worth it. That's the goal. It's
Yeah,
to let him know that everything he done was
it's
right
worth it in the end.
and it
Yeah,
was worth it in the end. And this is why. And now, Dad, I'm here to show you. Because do you know what? That's what it all comes down to. That will be his proudest moment too, is the fact that
yeah,
I done so much just so that they can have the best, and now he's striving for the best, and it's the thing that forever motivates you, forever pushes you forward. It will push him forward. It will push even now. It will push him to be better,
100%.
and which will then push you to be better again. And it's that's that same thesis that we tried to keep inside the real world. The whole, like you said, thousands of people doing the same thing every day. Like, are you clocking? Are you doing this? Are you doing this? Is because we realized very very early, and we realized this in the fight gyms and just in life in general. If you stick around a bunch of people doing nothing, you will do nothing. But if you're around a bunch of people that are doing something every day, as simple as going gym, it's so hard to not go gym if every day you speak to me like, "What you doing, Marcel?" "I'm going gym." "You coming?"
Gym.
"I'm going gym." "You coming?" At some point, you're gonna be
Yeah,
like, "Nah, I gotta go gym." Otherwise, you have to
exactly.
remove yourself from that place. So even being in a place where it's like everyone here is down to make money, focus, and grind, and keep growing, and everyone is checking that everyone's doing that, and we're trying to create the community where we're all responsible for ourselves, but pushing each other in a competitive space.
Yeah,
You can only grow to be something good at that point, I think.
100%. And my business partner and I, because of the real world, really
Yeah,
have been really lasered in. And keep in mind, we're also university students, so we have studies and theses to write and things to do. But after classes, after we've been in class since 8 a.m. in the morning till about 6 p.m. at night,
yeah,
you haven't taken a lunch break. You've barely drank water, and you're like, I have XYZ to do. I need to go to the gym. And then we have this group storming session about what do we want to do? How do we want to change this? The email campaigns that we want to run.
yeah,
You just do all these things. And by the time it's 1 a.m., you have to be up again like 6:30.
yeah,
And it's just constant. Even though we're tired, but we kept each other accountable. So we were able to grow.
yeah, yeah,
Accountability is a big part, and if you have someone that's able to keep you accountable on a daily basis, it
yeah,
makes it so much easier
yeah.
because there's someone depending on you, and vice
Exactly.
versa.
Exactly, and that's 100% true. And like you said, it's even though you are pouring a lot to get these things done, you're pouring a lot into yourself, and there's nothing more rewarding than that anyway.
Hundred
These
percent.
these people that are on 9 to 5s are pouring all the energy into something else and someone else's thing. Whereas if you're pouring it into your own thing and your own people you care about and you love, because you actually give a fuck about your people. These people at work don't give a fuck about you. These people who
I
hire these
really
people for
don't.
jobs don't, yeah. So if you can create something for yourself with your people, your jobs, and your friends and your family and your loved ones, and you're able to create that network, everything you pour will be in a positive position. It will all be out of love and admiration, and you all want to achieve goals, and you're not just thinking, how do I fuck this person over or get the most out of them and get the most out of them for me while giving them the least.
Yeah,
It's a balance, and I think that is kind of the essence of life. A lot of people waste their life just fighting for this thing they that has no real connection to them.
that's very true.
It's
That
it's a crazy world we live in.
it really is. And the past 3 months, I've seen the most substantial growth in my life
Yeah,
ever, and not in the sense of like financials, but more of mental. I've become much more resilient.
Yeah.
because I had to show up at a different level every single day. My
Yeah.
baseline in life was here about 4 months ago. Every single day for the past 3.5 months, I had to be here every single day. I couldn't shy of it. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way. Like, if it went anything under than that, it's a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
Right.
doing what I'm supposed to.
So
So,
let me ask you a question. What was you doing before you was in the real world? Had you made money before?
kind of, yeah. I dabbled a little bit with day trading
Hmm.
for a while in Forex and a little bit of crypto. That went okay. It wasn't anything substantial,
Yeah.
but I did not want to be glued to a screen for about 13 hours a day just reading charts and news to
Yeah.
see if it's gonna go my way. And there's a lot of practice and repetition. I wanted to be more connected with people. I wanted to do things and try learn actual business, right?
Yeah.
Be able to understand contracts and those skills that come along with it. Because in 15 to 20 years from now, I want to be doing the same things but at a much larger scale.
Yeah.
And to be able to do so, you need to have those connections. You need to be a business person. You need to be outgoing. You need to talk to different people and just expand my network. I didn't want to be stagnant and sitting at the desk all day. I want to move around and travel, you know?
Yeah. So how does the real world help you to achieve that then?
I'll be honest, I still don't know how the real world is going to help me get to that specific point just yet, because again, I'm still at the very beginning of this journey. So,
Yeah.
not to tell a lie, I still don't know. But I do know that the real world offers programs like the council and Professor Arno in the business mastery section. If you do get to that point of a consistent 10K a month,
Yeah.
they will help you actually go from 10K to 100K per month, which is going to help you expand your
Yeah.
network and all these things. So I maybe throughout that direction, I'll be able to get some counseling and help and mentoring.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm just trying to build a solid foundation for myself,
Okay.
and I want to see where I can go from there.
Amazing. And let me ask you a question. Have you made money inside the real world currently?
Yeah, about just shy of $5,000.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
actually amazing because you know what it is a lot of people don't understand is it those first motions of when you start to get client also becomes your most important moments because one you realize that it's capable you're capable of doing it and it's achievable. And
it
now
is.
you know, now you
It
have the
gives you hope.
formula. It's literally how do I replicate this as quickly as possible? Now I
Yeah,
have the winning formula. I just need to make sure that I can do this how many other times and faster. And then it just becomes a game of
yeah.
trying to get as much in as possible. And then your value starts to go boom, 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 and then what you ask for becomes more and more and more. So those first couple thousand, I think, some of the most important because that's your biggest learning curve. I think, in all honesty, when you
I
think
would.
of that.
There was a huge learning curve, especially with the
Yeah.
first client. Like, obviously, you do things in practice and in theory
Yeah.
before you get your first client. But it's a whole different whirlwind when you actually land that first client.
Yeah.
Once you do, you're like, wait, hold on, I actually have to do this for some. Like, it's now I have a consistent workflow of like, there's someone's business dependent on me to do my work, or else they fail.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So once you have that realization, you're like, hold on, I need to
I think
keep
it's
my head
serious.
on my shoulders. I need to stay focused and put in the work. After it's done, I can go have some fun, celebrate my small celebration with my friends. Go maybe go to a coffee shop or like maybe a nice dinner, but that's about it. Come back tomorrow, clock in, keep doing the work.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
You've been amazing today, man. Thank you for coming on. And
Thank you so much.
very, very interesting how you plan to grow. I think you're in a very good headspace, and even the fact that you've got your parents back and stuff, and they've been 100% supportive. A lot of people don't get that, so feel
I
very
know. I feel very blessed and very lucky to have
100%.
parents like they do. Yeah.
100%, exactly, and the fact that your father is able to give you the best in life, and even he can see this program and say, "Do you know what? That has the potential," and you're
Yeah.
in it, and he's happy for his son, his beloved son, to be in that and grow. We're glad we can be a part of that journey. Put it that way.
Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity for this interview.
Amazing. Thank you, G.